Greetings from here at Chiwenda. As I present to you faith and the love of God, which goes side by side. You cannot have one without the other. You lose faith in God because you have not understood Him at all. And that has been the aim of Lucifer from day one, since he began his accusation that God is an impossible individual to live with. He is very hard indeed. He is a very bad man. All the way that. But now look, if God can only answer my prayers after I have suffered for 2 weeks walking on foot, and my legs are swollen, and I'm so happy that this time, the way I have suffered, God, the communication between me and God is now open. You can see them dancing. You can see them very happy. I am not blaming anyone. I am blaming the people at that very time when who participated in turning Christianity into a religious movement. Yes. If I have sacrificed so much with my very life at risk for 2 weeks, 3 weeks walking to come to, first of all, God can be at that only place fully. In the other places, at our houses, in our hearts, in Iguru, our small houses where we come from, he is there perhaps a quarter of him. But at Namgongo Shrine is 100%. Let me, and he demands my punishment. But why can't you get a taxi and come to now? I have several things to ask from him. That's number one. And I want him to show him that I have suffered so much that he can be merciful to me. And perhaps he will answer my prayers. That kind of a picture, what are you getting when you analyze it a little bit longer? That we have an impossible God who can only answer after we have suffered. How can I, as I sat there looking at people who have punished themselves, the whole thing is started with the monasticism. You see, monastery, religious people who in Christianity withdrawing from society, and they lived alone in the caves. You see, eating food of the coarsest food, whose quality is very bad, punishing themselves, and they are eating at alternative days, every 2. You see, yeah, they can't eat every day. No, God will be unhappy with them because they will be enjoying. Let them suffer. The more that they punish their bodies and they suffer, the more God says, yeah, they have suffered enough. Now they belong to me. Where's all this kind of junk came from? The answer is simple. It came from the devil himself. As I told you now, connect we know the devil is no longer worried that people will not commit adultery, or they will not steal, or they will not kill each other. Those are just automatic things with us. That's the culture. But now, if I changed their thinking and understanding in the religious area, for example, and let them become really religious, and let them forget faith and the love of God, then I have succeeded, and He has, my dear. All of that walking and sacrificing and jumping, once they have arrived, they know, I have fought a good fight. But the verse continues to say why he was fight, why a good fight is all about keeping the faith. Yes, keeping the faith. How can I was asking, talk to such a people who have walked from Gulu, from Congo, Zaire, on foot, that God is love. You could have even as well stayed at your own home and asked Him, and he would have given you what you are asking. You don't have to make the journey. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to go through hazardous situations for God to answer you, or to love you, or to make you a candidate for heaven. You don't have to. Heaven is already free for you. Through His love, He forgave humanity in the Garden of Eden. The language of Hebrew confirms that very well. He stood in the center of the punishment Himself, instead of the offenders, instead of those who have lost confidence in Him, and they passed a vote of no confidence in Him, who deserved death instantaneously, who deserved to disappear forever, plus this planet. But God stood there, and He tied a knot with these people who passed the vote. And He says, whatever is going to happen to you, it will also happen to me. I am not going to destroy you. Suffering and death are just the results of losing faith and the righteousness of God. It is not a revenge. Yes. Because without the righteousness of God, automatically what we are going through, it is automatically facing us, including the disappearance from this very planet. You don't die again for what you do or what you don't do. You die because the righteousness of God was withdrawn after that vote of no confidence. And what remained was only empty humanity, which cannot sustain itself to live forever, because the divinity has been withdrawn. Please get that. Once the divinity was withdrawn, what remained? It was just humanity alone, empty humanity, which cannot sustain itself to live forever, which can cannot escape sickness, diseases, and pain, because that is what precisely the state of sin brings to us. It is not that God's anger boiled, burn, and then he poured the curses upon us, as the translators took it from Hebrew. And they forgot that those were reflexive verbs, which says that the speaker, he is actually putting all the negative actions upon himself. What a God we have. Now, you people who want to go to heaven, and you have never understood who God is, what are you going to do there? I am asking. If I can walk on foot from Zaire, you can come for your pilgrimage, is okay. You can come by another means. But if I can purposely punish myself to come to meet God, or to meet those people who are burnt, to talk kindly for me to God, so, exactly that's what it is. Help me, Jesus, saint so and so, talk slowly to God, coax him, and says, now God, I have something to tell you. That one, give him a special attention. Why? He walked all the way from Zaire. He walked, yes. To come to Namugongo, yes. Don't you see? What does he want? Oh, he wants his kids to go to Canada. Yes. He wants his kids to have a visa to go to US. Mm-hmm. I think all of you are acquainted with what Africans nowadays ask. You see? Yes, predominantly. And if you do that, then his walking will not be in vain. Don't you think it is an abuse to the love of God to think that way? Now, let me come at home to others. You see, yes. If you say, I have prayed God for so long and he hasn't been answering me, now let me fast. Aren't you putting pressure upon God and says, you refuse the simple way, or the way you gave us to communicate to you freely as your sons and daughters? But I have been communicating that way, and you have not been answering. Now, let me punish myself. And you fast. Sometimes 40 days. Christianity. Yes. 40 days of maybe fasting. A day is fixed that on such a week we have to fast, and so that we may go closer to God. The question is, if you don't fast, won't you go to heaven? That one has a problem. Now, if you say, yes, I will go to heaven, even if I fast or not, I see, yes, then why are you fasting? And we back to the same vote of no confidence in our Maker, that he can't really fulfill what we need until we punish ourselves. Is he a loving God? who says punish yourself first for me to answer what you, or for me to attend on your request. Where is the place of faith now in fasting? If you get what you want, what will you be reporting to to other people? Won't you say, hadn't I fasted, I wouldn't have received this one? Meaning that your God whom you serve is so mean that before you, if you don't punish yourself, he doesn't answer. How many of you parents now, let us come home. How many of you parents who demand fasting to your beloved children so that you may pay their school fees, so that you may be able to attend to their needs? As long as you are a parent and you are a normal one, you will do whatever it takes for your family, sacrificing even for your family, for your kids. Let them have it all. Yes, eat, drink. This is your father's home. Christianity brought this kind of teaching in a very pointed way, that call God in heaven your daddy. Abba means daddy. This is simple talking of daddy. The children of Jewish kids and others in that area of the Fertile Crescent use the Abba as we use daddy. That peeved and annoyed to a certain extent religious people of that time. Isn't this belittling our God, who is so powerful that he is daddy? At that time, his name was Yahweh, which he gave himself, that my name is Yahweh, and I will be known by this name forever. You see, Exodus 3:14 FF. I will be known by this name. By the time of Jesus, they were not even pronouncing it that Yahweh. They were only swallowing the gutturals, and then you could see their heads go forward. And when you see the head go forward, you know so well that they are talking about Yahweh. We need to re-examine our relationship with our God, because the present inaccuracies are overwhelming. God bless you.